Who let the dogs out? Who? Oh, my camera, come on. Yeah. No, I don't sit in front of my computer singing to myself all day. No, usually I sing to Macy. This is Kinninigan, the Cynocephali, the dog people. Look, when I tell you I'm going to do a deep dive into something, I mean this. I wanted to find out about reptilians a decade ago. I did. I wanted to go to Area 51 and film UFOs, and I did. And I wanted to learn about the dog people, and I did. So, if this is the first video you're watching that I've made about them, I suggest that you go to my channel. Just do it's Cynocephali, Cynocephali. I did a live stream on Saturday night where we talked about. Today I've got some more things to go over, and the reason I'm bringing these videos up because we more or less determined that one, they were the Mongolians. These dog people were also the Canaanites, and I know my ancient history, and I've had to rethink a lot of things about ancient history now because Saint Christopher, I said I was going to be bringing him up in another video, and we're going to read some accounts from Ctesias, who was a Greek physician, about some of their culture, the lifespans of Cynocephali, where they live in northern Africa. This is where it gets really interesting because now I'm like pinpointing geographical locations, and by the end of the video, you'll learn too. Saint Christopher was African. From the land is actually called Cyrenaica, and Cyren, I might be pronounced. It's Greek. Okay, a lot of the northern horn of Africa was conquered by Rome and Greece in ancient times. So they were given, it's modern day Libya. But before I get into anything, channel memberships, I'm not monetized. If you see an ad come up on this video, it's only because YouTube just announced that they could put ads on videos that are not monetized. So, also, I've had someone recently purchase Teespring merchandise. Thank you for that. I appreciate everything. And I want to give a shout out to some of my channel members: Nola Contender, Chris Knight Bay, Trumpet, Nature Girl in Arizona, and Mary K. Yeah, it's growing. It's the Lizard Club. And the other thing I want to tell the members, although whether you're level 1 or level 5, it doesn't matter. The members only live stream I will do once a month. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe the last Sunday of the month, and that'll be a members only live stream. Yeah, I will be doing some member only videos too. So if you want to sign up as a member or support me on Patreon, or you can donate through Cash App or PayPal. So we got to talk about this region here. Cyrenaica. I might be saying this incorrectly. It's not a Cia. No, it's Ica. Cyrenaica would be the land of the dog people, the Cynocephali. We've got some. See, what I wanted to do, beforehand. This is why we did the academic links from the accounts of Marco Polo and Christopher Columbus, because they're going to mention it in this article. So before I was getting research just off mainstream websites, I told you I was going to do a deep dive into this. And I covered that in the Cathay, Cannibals, and Cynocephali, Columbus's confounding categories. Now, I have 3 main places around the planet. Besides Puerto Rico and the Caribbean, well, that would be 4. We have the Ottoman Islands off the coast of India, where Marco Polo. I'll make a separate video about the Cynocephali in India. This video is about the Cynocephali in Africa, of all things. And it's interesting. Do I got that on here? I made a video. It actually came from someone who runs this company with me. Their wife actually sent me the link. Thanks to Serbia. About this weird Yeah, you know what? It was South Africa. About a hybrid dogman that was filmed. Do I have it on? Yeah, South African human dogman. And I did an analysis of this video. And this was pretty. It's on my YouTube channel. It's a guy who was running with dogs, and he looks like a dog when he's running. Now, there's a lot of strange cryptozoology in Africa. Okay, I've already. So, but where we're talking about this land here is the northern horn of Africa, and infamously in ancient times, Carthage and the Canaanites were enemies of Rome. Here, the Canis means dog in Latin. I got something else I want to show people. I showed people the skull yesterday that I found, quite possibly Cynocephali. Well, you ever see this demonic picture? This picture of the husband and wife who took the picture together, and after the film was developed, this demon appears behind the guy's shoulder. Does that demon not look like a German Shepherd head? I'm not saying it's a Cynocephali. I'm just saying it looks like a dog, though. The head's smaller than his head, but still, I mean, I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, what the hell? Because here, let me smoke a cigarette before I do some reading here, because I'm basically trying to get all the information I gathered about the Cynocephali and kind of give you a discernment here. So, when looking up Christopher Columbus, and we're going to talk about him, we're going to read about him. Yes, he was Cynocephali, met Jesus Christ, and was baptized. The excuse that the Catholic Church gives us to why they depicted some of the saints, because St. Christopher was a warrior, probably murdered a lot of people. These are warrior tribes, these dog people. The excuse that the church gives is that in old Renaissance paintings and all that, they depicted the enemies of Jesus Christ as dogs. I'm calling bullshit on that one. Right. I mean, this is why I'm showing you this pic right here, the demon that looks kind of, because that'll be in the lecture I actually give about the other dog man. There's some truth to this. Thoth talks about the hounds of the barrier, which are invoked when you start adding the angles inside magic circles. So there's always been kind of a canine and I would say dog-like appearance as depicted with demons and demonology and stuff like that. That's nothing. No, but I'm trying to recant the story. It's like just some of the excuses that the mainstream gives you. I was going to do this video a little earlier. This is why I didn't want to do anything about politics. I just watched the press conference from Rudy Giuliani. Wow. Yeah. He's as mad as a dog right now, and he's got every right to be. Anyway, things are sounding good. I didn't get a haircut yet because I figured, hey, Joe Biden's going into office. We're all going to Camp FEMA, and they're going to shave your head as soon as you get there anyway. But maybe I'll go get a haircut now. I don't know. We'll see. So we definitely have some interesting things here. This is where I got that story about St. Christopher, and they're trying to recant on it, saying, we depicted the enemies of Jesus Christ as dogs. Please. This is from Ortho Arch Journal or something, the icon of St. Christopher. We're going to talk about where he comes from, where he was actually captured in battle. I got that information. It was Cyrenaica. I believe I'm saying this. It might be Cyrenaica. Sounds a little Greek to me. So their excuse was they depicted the enemies of Jesus or barbarians as dog-headed men. Yeah, dog-headed men are represented as barbarians, as enemies who threaten Christ. No, not buying that one. Not buying that one iota. But if Jesus Christ did baptize Saint Christopher. What does that tell you? I mean, wasn't the Vatican talking about baptizing aliens a few years ago? You got to really read between the lines on this stuff. So, would Jesus Christ baptize Sasquatch? He probably would, right? Um, all creations are inside his kingdom, right? I'm sorry. Even if they were genetically engineered, which now that they have roots in Africa also is starting to sound more and more like a reality because now it explains Anubis because Egypt is right next to the land where they come from. Anubis could have been a real creature, could have been a Cynocephali from the northern horn of Africa. Um, so yeah, I'll put these links in the description. I wanted to read this because it's interesting. So yeah, Cyrenaica, historic region in North Africa, and until 1963 a province of the United Kingdom and Libya. As yeah, and it would explain the United Kingdom getting in there because they, under the guise of exploration, the Spanish and the English, their job was to sail all around the planet and the world and hide up a lot of these ancient mysteries. What do you think, Christopher Columbus in Spain? Spain has close ties with Rome. That's why all the islands in the South Pacific have Spanish or English names, like St. James or whatever, because of the English and the Spanish traveling around everywhere to cover up a lot of this history. So, Cynocephalus, the dog-headed man. Most people have heard of werewolves, but few. Here, let me increase the text size here. Most people have heard of werewolves, but few know of the ancient race of dog-headed men known as Cynocephali. A Cynocephalus was essentially a man with the head of a dog. They could understand language, but had no ability to speak. They are sometimes depicted in artwork as being civilized. They were, by all reports, savage beasts who lived to hunt and kill. While this may sound like just another mythical creature, there are very good reasons to believe that the Cynocephali may have actually existed. Above all them, these dog-headed men were described in reports by famous explorers Christopher Columbus and Marco Polo. And we already went over that document. That's in that one video. It's about an hour long, based on the journals of Marco Polo. Now, this is the part I really want to read, because this is like the only thing I can find where we're getting a little bit of now, were the Greeks really accurate? No, because I don't agree with Plato's account of Atlantis. Okay, I don't believe that Atlantis was not depicted correctly through Plato, if you ask me. But this is the only account that we have from Greece about what these creatures were like, their culture, how long they lived for. The women Cynocephali lived up to 200 years old. Now, this I find interesting because they're warriors, and we're going to read about that in here. The average lifespan in ancient times for a warrior, I'm 43. I would have been considered a seasoned knight by now. Yeah, most warriors don't make it to 43, not in ancient times either. So the fact that they're warriors living out such long lifespans is pretty amazing, because they were said to be undefeated in battle because they lived in the mountains. We'll read about it here. And this is the account from the Greek physician Ctesias around 400 BC. And this is his account here. He's going to talk about St. Christopher too. They speak no language, but bark like dogs, and in this manner make themselves understood by each other. Their teeth are larger than those of dogs, their nails like those of these animals, but longer and rounder. They inhabit the mountains as far as the river Indus. Now, that's around India and Sumeria, which is also very interesting. Roots to Babylon. Like I said, I'm going to cover the Cynocephali in India and the Angamanian Islands, where they were encountered by Marco Polo, in a separate video. There's a lot to take in for this stuff. And then I want to do a separate video on Puerto Rico and the Caribbean and see what I can find out about that. Their complexion is swarthy, They are extremely just like the rest of the Indians with whom they associate. They understand the Indian language but are unable to converse, only barking or making signs with their hands and fingers by way of reply. They live on raw meat. They number about 120,000. The Cynocephali living on the mountains do not practice any trade but live by hunting. When they have killed an animal, they roast it in the sun. They also rear numbers of sheep, goats, asses, drinking the milk of the sheep whey made from it. They eat the fruit of the Cora, whence amber is produced, since it is sweet. They also dry it and keep it in baskets, as the Greeks keep their dried grapes. They make rafts, which they load with this fruit, together with well-cleaned purple flowers. I find a purple connection, Han purple. And if anyone's familiar, that's my theory on reptilian shape-shifting, Han purple, mercury, and blood. And they were known for producing this purple dye that they would tribute kings with. I find this very interesting. So they make, okay, with the same quality of purple dye and 1,000 additional talents of amber, which they send annually to the king of India. They exchange the rest for bread, flour, cotton stuffs with the Indians, from whom they also buy swords for hunting wild beasts, bows and arrows, being very skillful in drawing the bow and hurling the spear. They cannot be defeated in war, since they inhabit lofty and inaccessible mountains. Every 5 years the king sends them a present of 300,000 bows, as many spears, 120,000 shields, and 50,000 swords. They do not live in houses, but in caves. They set out for the chase with bows and spears, and as they are very swift on foot, they pursue and soon overtake their quarry. The women have a bath once a month. The men do not have a bath at all, but only wash their hands. Okay. They anoint themselves 3 times a month with oil made from milk and wipe themselves with skins. The cloths of men and women alike are not skins with their hair on, but skins tanned and very fine. The richest wear linen cuts, but they are fewer in number. They have no beds, but sleep on leaves or grass. He who possesses the greatest number of sheep is considered the richest, and so in regard to their other possessions, both men and women have tails above their hips like dogs, but longer and more hairy. They are just and live longer than any other men, 170, sometimes 200 years old. Wow. And that's a long life for a warrior. So, definitely getting strange, right? The dog-headed men were a fierce warrior tribe, but they also traded with the few humans they trusted. And this is going back to the land of Cyrenaica. They were reported to live primarily in India and northern Africa, but were seen in many places in between. Perhaps the most famous Cynocephalus is Christianity's Saint Christopher, who was described in several texts as having the body of a man but the head of a dog. Not only that, but originally the future saint was said to have been a wild and fierce warrior who was captured in battle in Cyrenaica. Butchering that word. But yeah, that is the northern horn of Africa. Cyrenaica. Yeah, my Greek's not great. Anyway, we're not here for linguistics, are we? Because you came to the wrong place. Not only was this creature a large man with a dog's head, but came from a warrior tribe of dog-head men who looked similar to him. According to Christian mythology, he eventually met Jesus Christ and learned the error of his former ways. He repented and became baptized and eventually received sainthood and the gift of human appearance. Multiple historical images show St. Christopher as having the head of a dog. And here it goes right here. So this is typically what St. Christopher would look like, okay? I just find it strange. And going back to this pic here, I mean, this pic's been floating around the internet quite a while. People just marked it off as a demon, but this demon looks canine to me if it is legit. Was it a family dog that somehow got superimposed on the film or the camera? I don't know. That's a possibility. But I still find it pretty bizarre. If there's something bizarre on the internet, you can be sure that I'll probably find it. So, it's because I increased the text size here. The great explorer Marco Polo mentions Cynocephali indirectly when describing his travels to the islands of Angimanian, and that's the island outside India, which I said I'll do a separate video on. Angimanian is a very large island. The people are without king and idolaters, and no better than wild beasts. And I assure you, all the men of this island of Angimanian have heads like dogs and teeth and eyes likewise. In fact, in the face, they are all just like big mastiff dogs. I had a bulldog before, so yeah, mastiff head. They're big heads. They have a quality of spices, but they are a most cruel generation and eat everybody that they can catch, if not one of their own race. No one knows for sure what happened to this small but powerful race. It is believed that the empires around them expanded. They were killed off. They were most certainly a warring tribe and would have preferred death in battle to succumbing to another culture's ways. Oh, you mean like America being turned into communist China? That something else that was going on in that press conference today. That's what I said. So let's not talk about politics right now because it's looking bad. CCP money, you know. So, and what's funny is China actually plays into the story with the Mongols, and I covered that the other day in the other video. These were the Mongolian hordes that they built the Great Wall to repel against. Perhaps there are still some of them living in caves awaiting a day when they may return to power. One can't help but wonder if this ancient race of dog-headed hominoids are related to the varied types of semi-wolf, semi-human creatures. No. I'll make a separate video on lycanthropy, including how to even do the ritual. It basically involves you sacrificing a wolf naked under a full moon, putting its pelt on, and drinking its blood. Yeah. What do you think happens in the lycanthropy ritual? Then basically you get demonically possessed and run around the woods with a wolf pelt on you, high on wolf adrenochrome. You think I'm joking? Yeah, that's how you become demonically possessed. And this, yeah, it's a satanic ritual. That's a lycanthropy ritual. So, this is why pagans ain't right in the head, man. So, Jesus Christ redeems Saint Christopher. The excuse the church gives is, this is the way we depicted the enemies of Jesus in ancient times. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, I'll put this link in the description. I'm not done digging up stuff about the Cynocephali, but I also want to get in, maybe I'll do that tomorrow night. How's that sound? I want to do a live stream on Dogman, the mythical Dogman. And Mike, if you're listening, thanks for he sent me some excellent material to listen to about encounters with legit. They sound pretty legit. And Dogman is something else, but they're not like the Cynocephali. Actually, the Cynocephali are more dangerous than mythical Dogman and people encounter, and there's a reason about this, and it has to do something with take for example Sasquatch. They warn humans. I watch How to Hunt, but they don't kill them. And we're getting the same reoccurring themes with these dogmen. They come in pairs all the time, male and female. And this ties in with the hellhounds. And going back, Ghostbusters, if you ever saw the movie, when the androgynous demon comes down, she has... I might have that actually pulled up. Demon dog. Remember the Ghostbusters? Here it goes, right here. The terror dog. No, I mean, yeah, they're a little exaggerated in the movie, but I think you get the idea. There's some truth to this in dealing with demonology of all things, or paranormal realms. I'm not saying these dogmen are in service of Lucifer or the reptilians, but there's a theory, and it involves an encounter that someone had, and we'll talk about this on the live stream tomorrow night, one that Mike sent me about a guy who encountered these while he was in the military, and they were visited by men in black afterwards. And these things are interdimensional and pretty amazing. So, world's a strange place. But we basically, now I've really got to do some digging into Carthage, because Carthage at one time was on the northern horn of Africa. Hannibal Lecter, Hannibal the Cannibal. I had to break everyone's heart and tell them that Genghis and Kublai Khan might not be human. What was going on in Carthage? And the Canaanite deity Molech. Yeah, that's the child god of sacrifice. Things are getting strange. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. I just wanted to read this. I thought it was pretty cool. Ctesias' account of them. It's interesting. It's the most detailed account that I can actually get of them. But I'm gonna make some other videos about the yeah. Here's the island here. Now it's known as the Andaman Islands, which is a little easier to say, but it's off the coast of India. And we do know from the story of Rama's bridge that Rama had the help of the Vanir, but originally we thought they were related to Hanuman, the monkey god, and this was a hybrid monkey species. I'm beginning to think that some of the accounts, even in Rama's bridge and Hindu texts, are actually talking about these Cynocephali. They might have been the Vanir who helped Rama take down the demon general. Help Rama Situ take down Ravana, the 10-headed shape-shifting demon that kidnapped his wife and brought her to the island of Lanka. So definitely some interesting things here. Anyway, it's going to be all for this video. I'll put the links in the description. Again, thanks to all the members who signed up. Anyone's able to help me out with donations or anything. All the links are in the description. I just want to show this again. Look, here's what I'll do. I'll post this picture on my community wall today, so people can look at it. Okay, this picture's been floating around on the internet for a long time, and now I look at it and I'm like, it looks like a dog head. Like, this is crazy. So, and tomorrow night, do a live stream on the mythical Dogman. I think that'll be fun. Trying to stay away from politics. But who can? I mean, look, people are losing it. Because we're all trying to make, like, we're all crazy. 70 million Trump voters are all crazy. And that's what Giuliani was really going into about the press conference. You'll see those videos floating around YouTube today. Anyway, I'll cover the dog people. There's other people that do political commentary that you could follow for the elections. Anyway, any questions or comments, leave them below. Until we speak again, this is Kinninigan, and take care.